I felt like you're gonna go down in history now as a sore loser, as opposed to going down in history as the queen. Because if you can't beat them, join them. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. You don't have to feel the need to put somebody down and make yourself feel better.
These were the famous words Nicki Minaj spoke towards rap pioneer Lil' Kim a little over a decade ago, and little did she know these words spoken from the interview with Angie Martinez would prove prophetic, not towards Lil' Kim, but to Nicki Minaj herself. Hello everyone, it's your friend of a friend, where we uplift our friends and hold them accountable when necessary. Nicki Minaj is the #1 female rap artist of all time, and if you don't agree, she's definitely in your top 5, and if you don't agree with that, then you're a hater. I'm kidding. But Nicki from the outside appears to have it all: global success, she has cemented herself in the music history books, beauty, God-given talent, she's a mom, a wife, although her choice in husband is a bit of a head scratcher. So with all of these wonderful things going on in her life, why does she make time to beef with everybody? Since that interview has aired, Nicki has gone on to beef with or is no longer cool with the following people: Lil' Kim, Trina, Azalea Banks, Travis Scott, Kylie Jenner, Baby Stormy, Stefflon Don, Demi Lovato, JT, Megan Thee Stallion, Ice Spice, Lotto, Miley Cyrus, Cardi B, Remy Ma, Taylor Swift, Mariah Carey, Gucci Mane, Iggy Azalea, Kanye West, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Desiree Perez, Coi Leray, Tasha K, The Blogs, The Grammy Board, Tidal Music Group, TDE, Punch, and now SZA. And don't get me wrong, some people on this list had it coming. Like, who did Baby Stormy think she was, stepping her Nepo baby feet on the Queen's album rollout? She deserved that thorough cussing out, but I don't know what's going on with TDE and Nicki. All because Punch of TDE was doing his job, promoting his artist I Am Lyrics' new song Broken Barbies. Nicki automatically assumed it was about her and immediately started going off. When yes, Nicki's brand is synonymous with Barbie, her personal brand, but Barbie is also synonymous with Lil' Kim and Mattel. Now, Mattel would be in the wrong if they said they don't want any rappers mentioning Barbie in their music anymore, or comparing themselves to the doll, because some artists act like they invented the moniker. But one promo from Punch sent Nicki into another tailspin. Mind you, just last week she was raging online about Jay-Z, Desiree Perez, and Roc Nation, and Tidal owing her money. And Roc Nation, I forgot to add them to the list of the people that she's beefing with. But for some reason, she won't rage on down to the courthouse and sue for the money that she feels she is owed. But anyway, so she kicks off the mess by saying, "Y'all remember that man from TDE who kept bullying me on Twitter for no reason? We have the receipts, LOL. I never even responded to him. What was his name again? Y'all, I'm gonna give him a nickname. I'ma call him minus 30 million from now on. Hashtag justice for Damori." So it's been reported that the minus 30 was a hit on Doechii and Kendrick Lamar, because Spotify reported they both lost 30 million Spotify listeners. And we know Drake and his side have accused Kendrick and TDE of using bots to inflate their streaming numbers. But does anyone know of Punch or TDE bullying Nicki? Because this is my first time hearing that, but let me know down in the comments. And then SZA tweets, "Mercury retrograde. Don't take the bait, LOL, silly goose." Now, SZA didn't name names, she didn't at nobody, but Nicki took that as SZA addressing her, and she proceeded to go in. Mainly because her messy barb sent the tweet to her, and also let it be known that at the time of SZA's tweet, we weren't in a Mercury retrograde. SZA was a few days off. So they took that as SZA throwing shade to defend Punch and TDE. But we all know Nicki will cuss out anyone to defend Lil Wayne and Birdman, and nobody calls her out for it. So why is it a problem if SZA is trying to defend Punch, which I personally don't think she was doing? SZA rarely gets into it with anyone, and when she does, it's with Punch. So I'm not seeing it, but only she knows. Nicki Minaj responds with, "Go draw your freckles back on, Bookie. Hashtag justice for Damori. Hashtag deposition Perez. Liar, liar, pants on fire," sounding like a effing dead dog. Now, SZA has been called out for some time now for the lies that she likes to tell, including lying about having freckles, which is crazy. But why did the retrograde comment warrant this type of reaction? And then SZA hits back with a I don't give a F about none of that weird issue popping. And then one of Nicki's messy little barbs comes in and starts instigating and says, you didn't eat this. Nicki is richer than you, prettier than you, and more successful than you. Watch your mouth, you mutt. So then SZA responds to the fan by saying, calling a black woman a mutt to defend another black woman is so cooked. Open the schools. So another fan jumps in and says, you really don't want to start this, girl. If you was crying before, you really gonna cry now when the barbs get at you. Now I have to say, Nicki has one of the most loyal fan bases ever. They really go up for her, but they are so toxic and messy. They love to watch this woman crash out. So SZA responds to that fan and says, I get bullied by millions online every day, then step my ass out on a packed out stadium tour where people show me real love in real life. My parents are healthy and I'm the most successful I've ever been. Get some effing perspective and bark at the wall. And then Nicki comes back with, B damn near broke that man back and leg. B fat, chubby, and skinny at the same damn time. Bit, where are those 30 million streams that disappeared on Spotify like your faux freckles? Hashtag justice for Demori. Hashtag Dr. Now. Says botting tweets when you're arguing is just as weird as SZA. So I guess at this point she's still going at SZA and Punch at the same time. And I'm sorry, yes, SZA's been on the surgeon's table a time or two, but Nicki, so have you. And you really can't talk about nobody's botched body. And she continues, B looking and sounding like she got stung by a effing bee. ... Draws on my fake freckles. Hashtag justice for Demori. This is what they be wanting when they release music. Speak on me or about me at your own risk. When I'm discussing the I've suffered at the hands of any man. If you as a woman chose to get in the field, you're going to leave bloody. Figuratively speaking, of course. Hashtag justice for Demori. Hashtag Bumbelina. I'll expose some more of your lies and I'll tell y'all at the same time I play the long game. So while y'all celebrated insignificant wins and fake laughed for hours, God was already working. Sit this out. Trust ego won't win this one. Truth is truth. It doesn't change. The lies and deceit, abuse of power, ain't gonna cut it no more, no more, no more. So Nicki says she's been going through a lot behind the scenes with powerful men in the industry, and I believe her. We know the music industry and Hollywood are grimy, but I still don't understand her constant ranting online. Not everything deserves a response. You have to choose your battles. So SZA finally stops engaging with the nonsense and says, laughing my ass off. Let me go back to being calm, shy, and meek. Y'all have a blessed night. See you tomorrow for night 2, Paris. So then Nicki comes back and says, shut up, ugly. Hashtag justice for Demori. I'm in a meeting, so I don't know if you was still talking ish or not. So if you didn't, I'll delete later, ho. Is wild. She did not have to call SZA ugly. Personally, I think SZA is beautiful. They both are really, but Nicki's spirit is really ugly and bitter. And it's getting harder to root for her because I was a fan, never a barb, but I was definitely a fan of hers, but it's just really hard to support her nonsense. So Nicki takes a moment to ponder SZA's last tweet about hitting the stage in Paris, and she comes back with this. Wait, does SZA think she's more successful than me? LOL, y'all catch me up, please. SZA, if every song you ever done vanished right now, the music business wouldn't even miss you. I've been to countries that have never heard of you. I know you're not that stupid, are you? Stadiums? Did you look at the venues I played on my own headline festival? Tour out of the country last year? B, have you ever headlined to 80K people? B, what have you ever done besides yodel with autotune that needed returning? Boo, I'm an icon. You're not. The end. Pay the man for almost breaking his back. Why didn't you speak up when your exec was bullying and harassing me? You dirty, mangy. See you next Tuesday. These bottom numbers on all platforms have y'all losing y'all MFing minds. You the type that would have been quiet in school trying to fit in. You still have no clue who you are. I know you went nights without washing that musty face. B, how you remember exactly where every freckle go? Hashtag justice for Demori. Desiree Perez, we want to discuss your daughter's lawsuit. And did you do your deposition? Oh, okay. And then the next day, SZA responds to Nicki Minaj. She said, "You absolutely know my music and what I contribute because you've asked for features twice to no response. In addition to rapping my lyrics on Feeling Myself, cooking up the bass looking like a kilo. LOL, you're having a moment. I'm not sure why, but be blessed." And good for SZA for sticking up for herself. I would have never guessed she would go back and forth online with anyone, let alone Nicki Minaj, but she has every right to defend her contributions to music, and she could have just posted this and shut the whole conversation down a long time ago, but she's giving her grace. And if this wasn't bad enough, Nicki Minaj then proceeds to rage for about 5 hours on her Queen radio station. But I just inserted just a little clip so you can hear what she continued to say about SZA.
We have to discuss this. We will no longer tolerate not being able to speak on the abuse that we've suffered at the hands of any powerful person, you see. And then they send out their little chicken heads, not knowing that I've been compiling information for 5 years. So if I were you, okay, well, Leon, does she, like, I didn't know what she had tweeted about. Did she tweet about her shows or something? I don't know. But do these people not know my my stats? Like, does this woman think, like, on any day that if me and her walked in the room, like, in any country in the world, these bots done got to your motherfucking fat heads, I see. Y'all don't even know who's a motherfucking superstar and icon anymore, huh, Mizza? Mizza, you're not an icon. You are a yodeling fool who needs auto-tune, who done dissed every female entertainer, it seems, based off of, the screenshots. Take your yodeling ass on somewhere else, bitch. What the fuck? You done try to break that man back or something, I think, allegedly. How the fuck did you match the dots every time you put back on the freckles is what we the people want to motherfucking know. And did Desiree Perez take her motherfucking deposition? That's what we wanted. Oh, I knew that was gonna get you mad, Des. Mm-hmm. Okay, you guys. Now, Barbs, I love you very much. So I have to do I have to do a meeting, but I'm gonna come back on here so we can have some fun in an hour, okay? But in the meantime, in between time, y'all, please know that outside of the accusations and stuff of anything I say, like in terms of alleged abuse of power and anything, outside of that, please know that this is all entertainment and should be treated as such. Okay? Please know that. It's okay to have a good laugh. Y'all know I love a good laugh. But ultimately, this is not that serious, you guys, okay? And honestly, I hate having to speak like this to women, to engage in this. I know it might sound unbelievable, but I really don't. I don't like it. I rather deal with men. I rather speak to men and cuss men out or whatever has to be done because that's where it's gotten. As of now, that's where it is. So with these women not having any understanding that they've been constantly used as pawns, and now streams have been vanishing left and right. Where have they gone? Oh my! But talent wins, and talent is God given. Okay, I will come back on in an hour, you guys. All right, love you.
So, as I've said, Nicki's crash outs have been too frequent to ignore. A fan tweeted her and said, "Tired of seeing Nicki rant on Twitter, mental illness at this point." Nicki follows up with, "Yet you're following me. What about a woman allegedly putting a listening device and cameras in her adult daughter's bedroom and watching her have sex with her husband? Would that be considered a mental illness?" Blocked for being cursed. So instead of taking responsibility for her behavior, she just redirects the conversation back to Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez and her daughter, Damori Hadley, who recently filed a lawsuit against her mother, stating that she had her unlawfully institutionalized in a mental health facility for nearly 2 weeks against her will. And all of this, of course, is very sad, but Nicki, what the hell does this got to do with you? But that's the thing. She has it out for Desiree Perez, so any bad publicity that is going on in Desiree's life, you better believe Nicki Minaj is going to shine a light on it and she going to keep talking about it. That's why all them hashtags throughout this whole beef was shouting out Desiree's daughter. And I'm not trying to argue guilt or innocence here. I don't know much about Desiree Perez at all or even this whole story, but if she is guilty of all these things that she's being accused of, then justice needs to be served. But for now, it's all alleged. And of course, to continue deflecting, Nicki decided to post all these old tweets that SZA wrote back in 2011, I guess to prove that SZA isn't as unproblematic as we all think. So she makes a post that says, like, do you know the level of inside hate for yourself you had to be this much of a cunt for no reason to the women you later worked with? Now you want to act like you a MF and tarot card B. Quit. What an odd little weirdo. So one of SZA's old tweets says, I don't get it. Neither at Rihanna or Sierra can hold a note worth a damn. One's just worse than the other, so what's the beef? And even though SZA's known to tell a lie or two, I don't see no lies here. The next tweet says, Beyonce is looking more and more like Madonna every day. Could have sworn she was black at one point. Just saying. And all I'm going to say is SZA don't want no smoke with the Barbs and the Beehive. That's too much. And then the final receipt, Nicki got a problem coming up fast. Shorty right here goes at Iggy Azalea. My world. Now SZA, come on now, girl. Iggy, competition for Nicki? Never. So that's all I got. I feel like before this even gets uploaded, Nicki might crash out again, but listen to her little speech against Lil' Kim and see for yourself how eerie it is today and how much it applies to Nicki. And also, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, thank you so much, friends.
She just really jumped out the window. And you gotta be careful when you pick fights. And that's what I've learned in this business. You just never know. I think people get me mistaken with like a real Barbie. They forget where I'm from. And if I have to revert back, I can and I will. So don't get it, don't play with me. You know, it's one of those moments when you say, don't play with me. You know, because I respect you, I love you, I've said it in every interview, time and time again. And if that's not good enough with you, mama, then it's something deep-rooted in you. You need to get something is bothering you inside. That's your insecurity bothering you. It's not Nicki Minaj. It would have been any girl that started popping. You know, she picked a fight with Foxy, then she picked a fight with Eve, then she picked a fight with Remy. Now it's, you know, then it was Miss Wallace, then it was Nicki Minaj. Every time you in the news, it's because you getting at somebody. Where's your music? You know, put your music out, and when I see your name on Billboard, that's when I'll respond to you. Other than that, goodbye.